Good afternoon, fellow countrymen and women. I'm so glad that you can be able to join us on this live broadcast. I just want to make a very quick reaction to what has been reported by the news diggers regarding um, the profitability of Konkola copper mines under Vendetta. For those of you who do not know, in today's diggers, it has been reported um, that the Minister of Mines, Honorable Paul Kabuswe, has actually said that Vendetta will only begin to post a profit after 4 years. So if you count 4 years from now, because this year is already gone in business terms, we are talking of 2024, 25, 26, 27. So in 2027, 2028, to be specific, 2028 financial report, according to Honorable Paul Kabuswe, that is when Vendetta will begin to post a profit. I find this very disturbing, fellow countrymen and women. And allow me to use some strong words, not really to Honorable Paul Kabuswe, but to us as a Zambian people. I think we are a people that is lacking common sense as a country. There is no way you can bring an investor back and then that investor will only begin to make profits in 2028. That is disturbing. It is a lack of thinking on our part. It is a lack of seriousness on our part as the Zambian people. And when I say us, I also include myself. KCM is Zambia's biggest mining company. And we are saying that it will only begin to make a profit in 2028. For those of you who do not understand, that simply means that's when they'll begin to pay taxes to the government. This is a company that has waged a very spirited PR campaign. And yet the moment the government announced that they have given them back the mine, they have gone to Standard Chartered to borrow 1.3 billion United States dollars. And guess the asset that they have put as a surety? Your own KCM. Are we serious as a country? Are we really serious about economic development? Are we serious as a country about economic emancipation? My answer is a resounding no. We are not serious as a country. Starting with the people that are leading us right now, they are not serious. Now, for some of you who do not know, I want to give you just a simple historical context. And you are speaking to a person who was working at KCM during the time Vendetta were there. When Anglo-American left during the time of President Mwanawasa, KCM had employed thousands of people. If I'm not mistaken, it had about 11 plus 7,000, if I'm not mistaken. Between 7 to 11,000 employees. That is what they had. When Anglo-American, because the Levi Mwanawasa regime, remember, they wanted to get more stake. We wanted to get more from the mining companies. Anglo-American did not want to pay more to the Zambian government. Remember, President Levi Mwanawasa increased the taxes. He changed the mining regime. He put a cap that if the price of minerals, exceeded, for example, 7,000 kwacha, would also get a return on that. And of course, indeed, the price of copper was actually going higher. Anglo-American reacted by saying that they are going to leave Zambia. They left. It made President Levi Mwanawasa, who was facing an election for his second term, to panic. And yet, any investor who came on board, President Levi Mwanawasa jumped on that investor. I think you know the story from the mouth of the chairman of Vedanta himself, that he was even surprised himself the escort he was given from the airport, and yet he came alone. He did not even have an entourage. For some of you who are younger, you don't know this story, you can go on Google and you find these things. We are not accusing anybody for nothing. To cut the story short, we sold an asset that was worth in excess of 100 million United States dollars. We sold it for 25 million US dollars. That's why you hear some of us, we say we sold it for a song. And that 25 million United States dollars we sold KCM for, fellow countrymen and women, which was worth above 100 million United States dollars. It was paid from the same copper that these guys, when they started mining, that's when they began to pay us. And they entangled themselves in loans, so much that they were not even declaring profits to the government, and continuously kept on declaring losses. The PF came in. You may not like the process they used. They came in, wrestled the asset from their hands. These are guys who never contributed to the country's fiscus or treasury. I was at KCM. From the gate of KCM contractors gate, or the main gate, the road was terrible. They never did anything, not even just doing a road from the mines going all the way to the town center. It was terrible. Those who are from Chingola can agree with me what I'm talking about. And when we wrestled this asset, I was of the view, and the reason why we supported that move is that we had become of age for us to run this asset on profitability. Because KCM alone, in the hands of the government, and being run on profitability, it will give us enough money to pay our debts. It will give us enough money to buy medicines in hospitals. It will give us enough money to pay the contractors. Now, the same thing they did when they came in. This is what they have done. Immediately you gave them the mine, they have gone to get a loan worth 1.3 billion. They are still negotiating for the debts that they do have. And the report by Dr. Sixtus Mwale was very clear that this company had failed to run KCM and advised for it to be wrestled from their hands. Now they've gone to do the same thing. They have put it as a surety now. And the minister, who has now become the spokesperson for Vendetta, is only saying that they'll start making a profit in 2021. Now, there have been a lot of my fellow countrymen and women, and this is what breaks my heart, because we want to argue over things that are plain simple. There was no injunction against mining at KCM, because we have heard the supporters of President Hakainde Hichilema and the New Dawn administration who have been saying, no, the court cases would have gone a long time and then they would have taken too long. I want to make this clear, and somebody from the government can refute what I'm saying. There was no injunction against mining at KCM. Mining has been taking place even as we speak at KCM. Contractors right now, even some of them foreign contractors, are still at KCM during the receivership period when the mining was under the liquidator. Mining has been taking place. And secondly, I want to make it very clear, there has been no injunction in the courts of law, whether in Zambia or internationally, that we cannot sell the copper cathodes that are coming from KCM. And this takes me back to the statement I released in our reaction against the return of Vendetta. We, the Zambian people, must be serious and tell ourselves what economic price are we willing to pay. If Vendetta, which I know it is highly unlikely because I have never seen a multinational company which is wrestling for resources in a country that loses a case in any foreign court. It does not happen. Whether you take any company, any multinational company, whether it is oil companies, when they have a dispute in a country where they are resident and they take the case back to Europe or wherever they agreed to take each other to court, they never lose because of the interests, because of where they are connected. A big people in the West are connected to these companies, so they don't lose these cases. So the question that we needed to ask ourselves as a country is, what price are we willing to pay for economic freedom? If KCM is being run on profitability and we have recapitalized it, and it is running on profitability, and we are making, for example, the same Agao, the same chairman for Vedanta, who argued that KCM was giving him 500 million per year in profits and making 1 billion per year per annum. Can we fail to pay them, even if the one international court judged to say no, we were unfair to them, and then we are going to pay them, for example, $1 billion? We can pay them because we have got an asset that is working. We've got an asset that is functioning. We've got an asset that is giving us money. So this is where I go back as Zambian people. What price are we willing to pay for economic freedom? We are not serious, including the people that are ruling us are not serious. We are small men in jackets. Small men who are failing to give direction to the country, who are failing to pay the price that our forefathers warned us about, that if you are going to wrestle financial freedom, if you are going to fight for financial freedom, you need to be willing to pay the price. We are small men. That's what we need to accept in this country. And why do I say so? Let me make this point clear before we end this broadcast, because the media just came to get my brief reaction. When you talk about the copper, and I'm speaking this as a miner, I'm a miner by profession. I was a business development manager resident at KCM under an Indian mining firm, which is still at KCM even during during the period of the liquidator was still mining. Now, let me tell you, my fellow countrymen and women, let me tell you the truth for you to understand. Copper cathodes for 2023, kale bashitire mu December 2022. Copper ya 2024, bakayishita mu December 2023. That's how mining functions. Mining fataya banga tomato, wafika na ngupeni wa pick and pay. Omo nashitira kapeni aka. Wasanga mapeni, then wasenda tolo watwala kutiu. And because now you've taken, that's when you pay. No, copper doesn't do like that. In the mining industry, we plan. And if Kabuswe thinks I'm lying, let him respond to this. That's how we function in the mining industry. The copper for 2024, all of it will be bought in December, November actually, to be specific. Sir, the one who is interviewing you. It is bought in November 2023 to be bought, because people will be able to put in bids, because this allows the mining company now to project how many tonnage of ore they need to dig out, whether it is at the open pit or at the deep mining in the case of Konkola. It is the same thing that they will now turn into cathodes. So they will project from this ore, they'll get this many tonnage of cathodes. So if it I'm sorry to say this, and I want to make it very clear, what we are doing in Zambia. So what will happen to Vedanta is very simple. They'll borrow, or maybe by now they've already finalized, because they've got the mining giant on there as a surety. When they borrow, by next year or whatever year, they'll begin to pay back. So you, the Zambian people, you will not get anything. They'll keep on repaying back the loans. The same thing they've been doing. If you have never read, go and read the report done by Dr. Sixtus Mwale. Go and read that report. The same thing they were doing before we got the mine from them. That is what they'll be doing now. So by 2028, how many of you wait for 2028 for them to put money in the treasury? We have locked ourselves in a poverty cycle once again. What kind of thinking is this, fellow countrymen and women? Even if the courts gave us to say no, because we've unfairly gotten the mine from Vendetta, and we have to pay them $2 billion United States dollars. Can we fail to pay that when we have got an entity that is giving us $1 billion per year? And it's not like they'll say no, it will also take years for us to pay them. It may even take us 10 years. It may even take us 15 years or 40 years. So if we are making ourselves, it's coming in our treasury, we are making $1 billion, the same. Mr. Anil was boasting that he was making from KCM. Can we really fail to pay that? This country, the problem, we don't take ownership. We don't take ownership of governance. We don't take ownership of the economy. We think that if we surrender all the resources to them, it is like you are in a war. Then your enemy has got a gun. You also have a gun. You are facing each other, shooting each other. Then you get your gun and throw it to the enemy. And you expect the enemy to throw the gun back to you. That is the problem with this country. And today, I'm sorry, I'm not happy with this. When the media called me and told me, have you seen a statement from Minister Paul Kabuswe? And I'm very disappointed by this leadership. We should have kept KCM. You should have recapitalized it. We should have recapitalized it. We should have made money out of KCM and then would have paid Vendetta, whatever we would have lost. And I want to repeat that. There was no injunction against mining at KCM. There was no injunction against selling of copper cathode. So why have we been in a hurry to just give the whole thing? Why are we in a hurry? In this country, we lack common sense. We lack collective common sense. If we are going to come out of the mess, the economic, the poverty that we face, we have a country which can't even demolish Kamis's compound, which is supposed to be town. You can't demolish Kamis's compound. You can't demolish Garden. And just say we are going to build a beautiful residential area for our place, so that for our people, so that they stop using pit latrines. We create roads. We have got townships here in Lusaka which are being built and there are no roads there. That is the country that we live in. And you think, where is the money going to come from? You think the IMF will give you the money to go build a city? You think the United States of America will give you money to go build residential areas? What kind of thinking is this, my fellow Zambians? Who do you think will develop this country? If you cannot develop your country from the resources such as KCM, if you cannot make 1 billion, and if we run it on profitability, and I want to repeat this, when we were at KCM, there was nothing so special that the foreigners would surprise us with. The mine manager was a Zambian. A group accountant was a Zambian. Everyone, including the president for HR, as when I was there, they were all Zambians. So what the Vendetta did, they created new positions on top of those people. So remember, you had a group accountant who's supposed to be the boss in the accounts department under KCM. They created the post called the president accounts. So they put their own Indian guy there. When you went to exports, the guys who handle the copper cathodes that go out of the country, all of them, sir, were Zambians. You go to the mine manager as well. You go the mine manager. The mine manager himself. All those were Zambians. Were Zambians. So what they did now, they created a post. We had a lady, very strong lady, who was in charge of all the human resource, thousands of human resource at KCM. So she was the human resource manager. Then they created a position on top of her at president human resource and put the fellow Indian there. Honestly, what do you want? What do you want really out of your country? Is it then tuafwa? God has given us these wonderful resources, which we have got more than enough capacity. In case you don't know, Zambia has got one of the most educated mining people in the country. Do you know that we have Zambians who are working in Chile? We have got Zambians who are working in Australia. The chairman of the mines in Namibia, do you know he's a Zambian? But we have got this mind where we've been told, I think we've been told repeatedly that you cannot do this, you cannot do this. Giving back the KCM back to Vendetta is shameful. And it is on shame on us. It is a national disgrace. And then the same investor you give, he's got no money. He's got no money. He wants to go get a loan. And when he gets a loan, puts KCM on collateral. And then you only begin to make a profit in 2028. How many of you wait for 2028 for the economy to improve? That is why the cost of living in this country keep on going. We don't have industries that pump in dollars into the economy. Imagine if KCM is giving us $1 billion United States dollars right into the economy of Zambia. Do you know how strong the kwacha will be? Do you know how much stronger the kwacha will be? We will not be begging. Now we've got the other way around. Bank of Zambia offloads our reserves. I know I've got intel that by now the new Don administration has invested just to keep the dollar within reachable areas. They have pumped in 250 million United States dollars. Honestly, and you've got KCM that can give you 1 billion United States dollars, and you get 250 million just to stabilize the currency, the foreign exchange regime. What is wrong with us? Today I'm not talking about even the UPND, because the UPND are a product of us. They come from us. There is something wrong with us Zambian people, and we need to wake up. This is absurd. And you think who will develop our country? Who will develop our country, fellow countrymen and women? So 5 years is knocked out. Nothing. Whatever they will make, they will say we are paying back loans. They've done this before and they're doing it now. And you have the audacity as a minister to even tell us, Zambian people, that this is what is happening. They will make money in 4 years. This is not right. And Zambian people, we need to wake up. We need to wake up, Zambian people. This is not right. We need to wake up. Economic freedom will not be given to us like I've given you. They will not say no because we have mined in this country for a long time. Yes, Anglo-American mined here since then, if I'm not mistaken, 1930s. If I'm not mistaken. If I've gotten the dates wrong, forgive me. And when they felt that they were